Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one. Hope everybody had a beautiful holiday long weekend here with the markets being closed today on Monday. So in today's video, guys, we're going to start a new series on the channel. And I'm going to do these pretty much every single Sunday night or Monday in the event that Monday's a holiday in terms of the best top 10 plays for options writing for the week that I will personally be looking at to write some options on. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into today's video. So if you guys are new on the channel here, we have a couple rules in terms of options writing where we are going to write cash secured puts to try and obtain stock lower if ever we get assigned. If ever we don't get assigned, obviously we just keep the premium. But if ever we do get assigned, we will be looking to write covered calls on the stocks being assigned from writing those puts. Now, couple little rules, guys. If you haven't seen my basic video that I put on the channel, the tutorial as to how I personally run the options writing wheel strategy, take a look up here. I'll link it at the top of the video right now. But for all of those that are fairly regular to the channel and who know the gist of my strategy, let's just recap the main bullet points of the strategy. Very, very simple, and you guys will see. So number one has to be a solid company, aka you must want to own the stock. Please do not write any options, guys, on any stocks that you do not want to own at any price points that you do not want to own. That is rule number one. Number two, I am looking for stocks in a monthly uptrend or a long-term range. And we'll have a couple examples of both of these in the list today. Number three, capital rule here, guys. I do not want to have any earnings this week. And if ever I'm writing an earnings play, that will usually be a company that has just came out with earnings the day prior. So I'll include two stocks in this list that do have earnings this week at the end of the video, but very, very, very crucial that we wait until the earnings results are out and then potentially play the position afterwards, not before, because you guys know earnings can have very volatile moves. And number four, it needs to be in an area of support or on a longer time frame breakout retest. We're talking about either a weekly or monthly breakout retest of a specific big zone, which was either previous resistance, which has now found support, or has been support for a very long time. And number five, in terms of the premium requirements here, we're going to be going for between 0.5 to 1% premium per week. That is the rules for the annualized ROI that I'm trying to go for. Obviously, if you make 0.5% on the account value every single week, you're going to be making roughly 25-26% per year running this strategy. That is if you're only collecting put options premium here. Obviously, if you're writing covered calls against it, we can juice that up a little bit more. And to the high side, looking for 1% per week, that would obviously give an annualized ROI of just about 50%. 1% is fairly greedy though, so I don't fairly recommend this on most stocks here unless they're at a very, very decent level. And with the VIX being so low in relation to most recent years, it's very tough to get a 1% premium here on a lot of very solid stocks within a given expected move throughout a week. So it's not very possible to find 1% premiums here per week unless you're going very, very risky stocks or you're going very close to the money, which is not what we're trying to do. We're always trying to write these roughly about 3, 4, even 5% out of the money for the week. So with all that being recapped here, guys, and with futures ending slightly red here in the overnight session, well, not ending, starting overnight red here, looking to find some opportunities tomorrow, Tuesday morning in the markets for the Friday options expiry. Now, stock number one, we're going to be looking at Fortinet here, guys. So Fortinet's been a company that I've been saying a lot about on the channel, mostly good things here. Very, very solid company. So in what we're going to be looking for here, guys, is this red line here on every single chart will be the expected move for the week. If you want to know what the expected move for the week on any given stock is, that's very, very simple here, guys. All you have to do is go to this free website. It's called optionsai.com. Free, no sponsorship whatsoever. And they have an expected move options calculator here where it's very, very simple. It gives you the plus and minus for the expected move given the close on Friday. So you can see here, I have Texas Instruments pulled up here and it gives the expected move for the Friday close. So that's just going to be these lines right here. And if you want to look at any options premium without, let's say you don't have your broker access tonight or whatnot, you can always go here on the NASDAQ.com website here and find the options chain. So let's go over this example really quick, and then we're going to go over the rest of the stocks in the list here, guys. So the expected move is 61.05. So that represents roughly a about 2.25% here to the downside from current price. Why do I like this level right here, guys? Well, we are just looking for the breakout retest, and I'll highlight that, right? It's a very healthy weekly uptrend right now. So any pullback into this roughly big area of support right here, this area played beautiful support in the previous year, right? So anything between $60 and roughly $57, $58 is what we're going to be trying to get here on the premium. The expected move is 61.05, meaning the options market is pricing in that at worst, Fortinet could drop to 61. But if it drops, let's say tomorrow's a big red day and it drops to 61 right away, we'll be looking, guys, in the $60 range. 60.59 strike is what I want for this week. It's a very nice confluence area here, where you have this previous big area of chop zone, right? Should provide decent price support, and you do have your daily moving averages down there as well. So $60 to $59. And how do you know it's 0.5% to 1% rule, guys? Very simple. You just go on the chain right here, and you'll see currently, if you're looking at the, let me blow this up a little bit in case it's too small. So currently stock is trading right around the 62.44. So where is the 0.5% rule? Where you're just looking for about half of the strike price in terms of the cents amount. So if you're looking for a $60 strike, you need to see at least 30 cents here on the bid, right? 30 cents here on the bid for it to be worth your money. So that is what I'll be looking at, be either between the 59 strike and 60. If I get that tomorrow, I will be looking to write some options in this position on Fortinet here. Stock number 2 is going to be Cloudflare. Cloudflare, another cybersecurity play. I like this stock a lot and is just currently breaking out of its previous big range of resistance here. We're talking anywhere between 68 and roughly $74 right here. Beautiful weekly move up, reset of the weekly uptrend to the upside, just looking for the retest of this whole level right here. You have all of your weekly moving averages right in that zone too. So going to be representing a very big area of confluence. Previous resistance, now support. You do have your moving averages as support down there. And we're just looking for the weekly higher low for further trend continuation. It is currently on a monthly breakout as well. So stock's looking very good. Expected move for the week is about 76.53. So going to be looking to shop here, guys, anywhere in the 71, 72, all the way up to about $75 range. Obviously, the lower, the better. So we'll see how the market opens up tomorrow. If it opens up in the 77, maybe even $76 range, if it has a really negative open here tomorrow, well, then obviously we can shop closer to the downside here, $74, $73. So that is the strikes that I'll be looking out for here. Anywhere between $75 to roughly $72. This whole previous area is going to be the area that I'm going to be looking to write options in. So obviously, if you're looking for 0.5%, on those strikes, 72 to roughly $74, we'll be looking for roughly 36, 37 cents on the bid. So I'll be keeping an eye out for Cloudflare in those levels. Now, moving on to the third stock, which is going to be Apple. Apple, very simple. Don't need to introduce the company to anybody, right? This sweet spot for Apple is pretty much my sweet spot in terms of support. This green box right here, we're talking about pretty much, sorry about that, guys, 181 all the way down to about 175. So if Apple does continue our potential daily downtrend into this area, the expected move for the week is about 183.38 for the Friday close. So anything below that is pretty much going to be a gift by the market makers, in my opinion. I will be targeting this low down here, 180, 179. If I can get some options down in that level, if Apple opens up, let's say, in the 184, 183 range tomorrow, well, that will be absolutely perfect for writing options in the lower $180 range. Apple, very beautiful company, right? Monthly uptrend is confirmed at this point. We're just having a little bit of a monthly tightening range. All of your major moving averages are in play as well. Big support area down here too. So wouldn't mind being even assigned some shares of Apple here in the lower 180s down to high 170s. Obviously, if you're looking for around the $180 mark, you're going to want to see 90 cents on the bid at minimum to take this trade, or at least for me specifically, because none of this is obviously financial advice, right, guys? So moving on to the fourth stock here, we're going to have Amazon. Amazon with a beautiful breakout here. You can see they just recaptured a daily uptrend momentum here. So we're just looking for the daily higher low. We're also in a weekly uptrend as well. So looking very good. And we have this big support box down here, pretty much 149 all the way down to roughly 140. Big range, but top end of the range is what we're going to be targeting right here. Previous area of consolidation as well. So if we do get this little breakout, retest to the downside, the Expected move right here for the week is about 151.65. So anything below that is going to be very juicy for some options premium. So obviously, if we're looking for the 151 all the way down to about 150 strike, you're going to want to see about 75.80 cents on the bid for this trade to be attractive for me for taking this position here. Just looking for a breakout retest of the position here. Amazon looking absolutely gorgeous on the weekly as well. And even on the monthly here, guys, monthly beautiful confirmed uptrend too. So really have no doubts in my mind that Amazon's going to be able to have a very, very good year this year. So want to keep playing aggressive premiums on Amazon this year for myself personally. Now moving on to stock number 5 here, going to be moving on to Google, another one of your big tech stocks. So Google as well, breaking clearly out. Daily uptrend is confirmed. Just looking for a daily higher low right now, right? Even on the weekly's looking absolutely gorgeous. Weekly uptrend confirmed, and your monthly uptrend is confirmed as well. So we're just going to be looking for a potential retest of our big support zone here, right? Previous resistance, now acting as beautiful support. The moving averages on the daily are here as well. So the expected move for the week is about 141.66 to the downside, meaning if the stock retraces tomorrow or Wednesday, I will be looking to shop for options 141 down to about the 140 range. Obviously, the lower the better here, depending on the open tomorrow. If I can find, 0.5% on the 140 or even 139 strike, I'll be going for that. Looking for 0.5% around the 140 strike, that would be 70 to 75 cents on the bid for this trade for me personally. So everything looking very good on Google, looking to potentially build some positions here on the options for the week. Now, the next stock we're going to be looking at here, guys, is going to be OXY. And OXY is going to be fulfilling one of our criteria in terms of a long-term range here. So as you guys remember, at the beginning of the video here, I highlighted the fact that it either needs to be in a monthly uptrend or in a long-term range. So OXY, even though it's not currently in a monthly uptrend, it is in a very long area of consolidation, otherwise known as an accumulation phase here, right? So we're targeting the bottom end of this long-term range. Monthly moving averages are there, and your 200 weekly MA is right down here around $54. We're just targeting the bottom end of this entire zone right here, which is denoted by this yellow line, which is about the $55.5, $56 range. The expected move for the week here, guys, is only 56.96, and this being a fairly decent value stock, the premiums aren't that juicy on it unless you have a very big move to the downside. So if ever OXY opens negative to the downside here tomorrow and tests the $56 levels, I will be looking for potentially 56 all the way down to 55.5 sweet spot here for some puts. Now, in terms of the premium that you're looking for, if we are looking for a 56 strike, just do half of that, we're looking for about 28 cents on the bid for this trade to be worthwhile for me. So keep an eye on OXY. Very, very, very big area of support, and obviously nothing wrong with the company whatsoever here, guys. Company generates a ton of profits and is obviously, as you guys may or may not know, one of Warren Buffett's favorite energy picks here. Now, moving on to the next stock here, we're going to go over to Trade Desk. So Trade Desk, pure form advertising play. Now, this company specifically here, guys, we're going to be looking for the expected move for the week is about 64.85 to the downside here, which is roughly in line with our lower area of support that we previously touched back here in November. You can see this area was acting as decent support, and prior to that, it's a very tough area for the bulls to get through in terms of resistance up here, and also a big chop zone back here, and it goes all the way back here, guys. I like this level. Obviously, the stock had moved lower in different market conditions we're talking about in 2022, but now with most of their EPS restored and very, very solid guidance for the next 5 years, we are looking for a potential change of the weekly trend to the upside. You see this big weekly downtrend right here. Now the bulls have put in a decent engulfing move. We're looking for the weekly higher low for potential weekly trend change as well. And on the monthly, guys, monthly is an uptrend currently, right? So you have a beautiful double bottom here, monthly uptrend breakout. We're looking for the monthly higher low for further trend continuation here. You can see all of these previous monthly candles have relatively stopped here in the 69 all the way down to about $65 level. So I will be looking to play the lower end of this closer to our expected move, anything 65, 64, even 63. If we open red tomorrow, let's say, and it goes all the way into the 65, 64 area, well, the lower the better here, guys. If we're looking for $64, $63 puts in terms of this, you're going to be looking for about 32, 33 cents on the bid come tomorrow morning or potentially Wednesday, whenever it happens here, guys, for me to be interested in this trade. So Trade Desk, very solid company and getting to more and more attractive levels. Now, the next company on the list here, guys, is going to be BABA. And quick disclaimer here, BABA does break one of our rules here. So as you guys remember on the rules that I stated earlier in the video, it needs to be either in a monthly uptrend or a long-term range. Now, it does respect all of these other criterias here, right? But it is not in a long-term uptrend. So you can see this big monthly downfall here by Alibaba here. Even on the weekly here, guys, we are kind of stuck in a weekly downtrend as well. However, the reason that I like this stock in the lower $70 range, even to mid 60s to high $60 range, is just the valuation here, guys. So the expected move for the week is about 69.73 here to the downside. So we're talking roughly, you know, about 3.5% to the downside potential here. So if we're shopping for puts in this area, guys, let's say the $68, $67 range, you're going to be wanting to find between 30 and 35 cents on the bid for this option to be worthwhile for me opening a trade here. And why do I like Alibaba so much, guys? It's just the valuation. The valuation is absolutely ridiculous at this point here, guys. And I'll prove it to you with a few quick ratios right here, right? So your current revenue, it doesn't show it here for ending 2023, but the current revenue projection for the end of 2023 is about $135 billion, right? So if you take a look here in the past, in terms of the trailing 12 months, you can see with the quarter we just reported, it's about 130 billion right now. So we're missing one more quarter for Alibaba, which is going to come in the next few months. But all in all, guys, the revenue right now is about $130 billion. The stock price is trading back to roughly 2016 levels here. So really early 2016, almost end of 2015 levels. And you can see here, guys, right? In terms of the revenue, guys, since 2016, let's take the end of 2016, right? This company was only making $21 billion back then. It's now making 6 times the amount of revenue, and the share price is exactly the same. Take a look at the PE ratio, right? The PE ratio for Alibaba is absolutely at its lowest level since the IPO. You can see even back here in 2015, had a PE ratio of about 15.15. And look at this drop off here in the last year. Their EPS is very good. The revenue growth is very good. Their PE ratio is down to 10. Yes, 10 for Alibaba, despite all of their growth. Very strong company here. This is why I'm going to break one of my long-term rules for it in terms of your support. Just looking to accumulate some Alibaba stock in the lower levels, because I do think we are due for a nice little pop on it as soon as we get some positive news out of China here. You can see expanding EPS over the next 4 years and expanding revenue for the next 4 years as well. There's really nothing wrong with the company other than being plagued by bad Chinese macro news right now. Moving on to the next company here, going to look at Pepsi here, guys. And Pepsi, one of my favorite stocks in the entire market. You can see here, monthly trend is looking very beautiful right now. We are currently stuck here after having broken out on the monthly. We are currently in a little bit of a monthly pullback right now. So the bulls are going to want to try and retest these lows here and potentially reset the monthly uptrend to the upside. What's positive for Pepsi is every time we dip below this orange line right here, this 26 moving average, in the past 10 years, guys, the stock usually does have a decent rebound. There's nothing wrong with the business whatsoever here. A little bit of consumer discretionary slowdown, which caused a bit of a sell-off here back down in September and October. The same thing happened to Coca-Cola. But as of now, guys, in the last 2 months, you can see we formed a very decent baseline here of support right around your $165 area. So for the options for the week here, guys, we're going to be targeting those lows. The expected move, as a matter of fact, is about $165.32. That's going to be the expected move. So if Pepsi, for ever which reason, comes down a little bit tomorrow, I will be looking to shop for some Pepsi options here. 165 all the way down to pretty much your 162 zone is going to be my very good sweet spot for Pepsi. And if you want us to pull up do I still have it open right here? So let's pull up Pepsi on the options chain right here. Let's see how much, because Pepsi, sometimes they trade in increments of $2.50 on the contract. Sometimes they don't always have $1 increments. So you can see it right here, right? It's either going to be the 165 or the 162.50. Now, 165 is fairly close to the current share price, but I am fairly interested. If we get a little dip here, 167, 166, I'll be looking for the premium here on the 165s. You can see that as of the Friday close, only 38 cents. So we're going to need to get a little bit closer here to 165 to bring that premium up here. I will be looking for 0.5%, which is roughly 80 cents on the bid for Pepsi. Very beautiful stock here, very good area of support. And we are just looking to pretty much start a new weekly uptrend on Pepsi here. So very good pick in my opinion here. One of the last ones here is going to be Tesla. Now, Tesla has had its share of bad news here in the past couple of weeks, stemming down from pretty much your factory shutdown due to the conflict here in the Red Sea. So they're stopping 2 weeks of production here in their Berlin factory due to shortage of parts, and also their current ongoing price wars with companies like BYD in China, where they're cutting prices, cutting margins, and also having a little bit of reduced demand here due to high interest rates around the globe, which really plays into Tesla's cyclical business here. When interest rates are high, unfortunately, consumers aren't that keen on financing new vehicles. So in terms of Tesla, however, it is pulling into a very beautiful area of support. Now we're talking about this previous area of resistance, which is roughly your 210 all the way down to about 195, which is currently played as support here once back in October. And you do have your weekly moving average, this green line right here, coming in right at the $200 mark. Now, the expected move for Tesla. Keep in mind, Tesla doesn't have earnings this week. It has earnings next week. So I'm going to be playing this a little bit cautious if I do play it. Your expected move for the week is about 210. But if Tesla opens red here tomorrow and starts going down to about 215, 212 over the course of the morning, right? This expected move is not that far away. It's only about 3% away. So if Tesla has a minus 3% day tomorrow, well, obviously we're going to go a lot lower. I will be targeting the lower end of this range right here around the $200 mark for Friday. So if we're going to be targeting the lower end here of this support range, I'm going to want to see at least $1, right? So it's pretty much half of the price. As I was teaching you guys, right? If it's 200, we're going to be looking for roughly $1 on the contract, on the bid here, for that to be worth it for me for Tesla. But definitely we'll be wanting to close these options on Friday here, because we do have earnings on next week. So just have to be a little bit careful about that, but is pulling into a very juicy area in terms of price action. In my opinion, that lower $200 range is going to be a very decent range, all things considered, for Tesla, considering their EPS expansion and revenue growth over the next few years. And now lastly here, guys, right, we do have one more, and then we'll be getting into the ones that have earnings this week. Now, the last one is going to be Texas Instruments. So Texas Instruments really doesn't need any introduction for most people, right? So Texas Instruments, the one thing that I like about them is this company has an outstanding balance sheet, guys. And if you take a look at their fundamentals as well, if you don't know them that well, right, take a look at their growth perspectives for the next couple of years, looking very, very decent as well. They had a couple outlier years, 2021, 2022, where they pulled forward a lot of demand, but you can see their EPS expansion is going to continuously resume here, and the revenue growth does continue to resume as well. They're trading fairly decently here, guys, only at a PE ratio of about 21.47, pays a decent dividend. But as a whole here, guys, other than that company introduction, I like them because we're coming to an area of support. We are currently trying for the breakout retest as well, right? So after having consolidated on monthly for all this time, getting a slight break here of our support range, right? The 146 level back in October, we are now back up into it, back above your monthly moving averages. We're just looking to eventually set a monthly higher low for a potential monthly uptrend here into 2024. The weekly bounce is amazing after this weekly downtrend. We had a full weekly engulfing move here after this November-December rally. So any move down, just looking for a weekly higher low for further trend continuation here back to the bulls. Moving averages are down here as well in the roughly 162 all the way down to 159 range. These are the short term. This is the 200 week moving average down here in green. So our expected move for the week here, guys, is roughly around 161.91. So that's roughly about, just under 2% for the week here to the downside. I like this level because it's been touched so many times in the past, right? Yes, prices come through it a few times here, guys, but you can see usually the price always does snap right back here, really getting in this tight accumulation zone for TXN. Solid company, solid balance sheet. So if ever we continue dipping on TXN early on in the week, we're going to want to get as close as possible or under to this expected move in terms of the contracts. I really would like the 160, guys. If I can find the 160 contract here for 0.5%, which is going to be 80 cents on the bid, I will most likely be writing that option for this week. I really like this company. I really like the level that they're trading at and the confluence, right? We're looking for the weekly higher low, and there's big moving averages down here. This area has played as support a ton of times in the past, so looking for it to do the same should be a fairly easy in and out play on TXN. If I can find some premium down here, 161, 160, 159 are going to be the strikes I'm looking at. And now lastly here, guys, two companies that have earnings tomorrow. The first one is going to be Morgan Stanley. So Morgan Stanley Finance Company, right? They have earnings tomorrow, before the open. So at the open, we may be able to play them. If for ever which reason they follow in line with the earnings from last week and potentially report good earnings, but just have a little bit of a stock sell-off, what are we looking for here, guys? The expected move on the week is right down here at around $87, right? So you have your moving averages on the weekly. This is a beautiful weekly engulfing move by the bulls here, looking for a weekly higher low for further trend continuation. It is always also a very nice monthly engulfing move. So any pullback on the monthly, just looking for a monthly rate test potentially of this level before a new monthly uptrend. Stock is looking very, very, very good here in terms of past performance. Very good balance sheet as well. And this 87 area here, guys, look at this chop zone right here. We'll draw it in a little bit of a rectangle, right? So we're talking about 87 all the way down to about $83. This area has played support a bunch of times in the past. Your moving averages are down there as well, looking like a very decent level for me to be playing off of. So if ever we start revisiting this mid 80 to lower $80 range, let's say tomorrow after earnings we open, and we open 2-3% to the downside here, right at 87, I'll potentially be looking for the 85s, 84s, if there's enough premium on here, guys, right? So in terms of that, I'm going to be looking for at least 0.5%, which is at least 42 cents on the bid for an 84 strike, and roughly about just over that, right? 43 cents for 85, 86. So going to be looking for that for Morgan Stanley after the open tomorrow, depending how their earnings go, right? Obviously, if we just blow right past this with their earnings, let's say they have a disastrous earnings and go down about 10%, well, I will be potentially waiting for it to level out a little bit here. If I can get the most that I would go here, guys, is if we really break down in this zone heavy tomorrow, right? 7, 8, 9, 10% range and break down to the lower 80s, I may make a play $80, $79 around this weekly 200-week moving average, this green line, $78, which is what I'm going to be looking for. So 80, 79, we'd be looking for about 40 cents on the bid, but I'm not really expecting a disastrous earning from them, which is why I'm trying to play the mid $80 range. And lastly, the second financials company that has earnings this week is going to be Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, again, before the open on Wednesday, so we may be able to make a play on it after the open on Wednesday. Now, what are we looking for in terms of Charles Schwab? Well, Charles Schwab has done a couple things as of recently here, guys. Number one, we have just reset the monthly uptrend to the bulls. So very, very decent breakout by the bulls, looking for these moving averages to act as support as well. Very nice weekly engulfing move after this most recent weekly leg down of selling. One big move to the upside, looking for the breakout, retest of this potential area. All of your moving averages are at confluence, right? The 12 EMA in yellow, the 200 weekly moving average here in green, and the 26 down here in orange. So big confluence zone right around your $61, $60 mark. And the expected move for the week here, guys, is roughly 62.40 with the earnings, right? So if ever we are opening up lower tomorrow and then into Wednesday earnings in the morning here, let's say the stock brings us really down below the expected move, let's say $62, $61, even slightly above, right? I will be looking to shop anywhere between $61 and $60. This area, this green box, has been the sweet spot in Charles Schwab. I played it a ton back here, but now that it's really broken out of this area, I do believe that we'll only get at best a retest of my box before a potential future run. So I will be looking out here, guys. $61, $60 range is going to be the target strikes after earnings on Wednesday. So I will be looking for about 30, 32 cents on the bid. If ever we do trend lower here, that is what I'm going to be expecting. So all in all here, guys, that is everything that I had for you guys in terms of today. Like I said, I want to be doing these pretty much every single Sunday to where I give you guys a glimpse into a few positions. Obviously, my watch list is a lot more extensive than that, but I'm really bringing you guys the easier plays, the more straightforward plays that I'm finding right now. So hopefully this will be able to help guide you in your own option selection here. Obviously, none of these recommendations in the video are for you in terms of financial advice. They're just the trades that I am going to be looking at for writing for my own portfolio this week, just as educational purposes here, guys. In terms of being able to kind of give you an insight into how I pick my stocks and how I pick my strikes for the week. So hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, consider dropping a like on the video. It really helps out for the channel growth. I love you for that, guys. And as usual, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing as well. We do a lot of these topic-specific videos, and we also do daily market recaps Monday through Friday after the close, where I go through not only big tech, we go through our major indexes, and we also take a look at my portfolio at least twice a week on the opening of the week and closing of the week. Or if I ever never close or open new positions intra-week. I always show you guys the full transparency in the portfolio. And lastly here, guys, as always, if you have any questions whatsoever here, guys, if you want me to take a look at any specific stock, an options play, if you have questions on either the premium writing or anything specific about options writing, feel free to leave it down below in the comments and I'll answer you as soon as I can, usually within the first 24 hours. So hope you guys liked the video here, guys, and take care. I will see you guys tomorrow after the market close for our recap. Tons of earnings this week, so going to be a fairly interesting week indeed. Take care, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.